There she is. Miss America.
Put my butt in the air again.
Getting the butt in the air. So, I'm climbing over a wire here. Excuse me. So, we just painted the upper cabin wall. It was primed 3 times. That's the finished paint. There's Miss America. Looking all hot and juicy.
Oh, jeez.
And what she's doing right now is prepping this back area to end up doing the same thing we just did here. Prime, paint. But that wall's staying, and those are existing walls. And that wall back in there is an existing stain. However, it's got screw holes because it had those slats. Like, I'm going to walk up front and show you. It had the slats like this, and I took them off, and it really opened up the back cabin. And then so it's got all the screw holes in it, and we're going to patch those screw holes up and then prime it and paint. And she's doing a rough sand because it's Formica board. Pull that board down up top that's falling. You can just set it down. There you go. That's an access panel to my rub rail and cleats. So I have some access panels up in there. This hole right here gets covered over with teak strip. So yeah, there's that, and then we painted the upper wall of the aft head. We haven't touched these walls yet, the ones that I built, but we basically wanted to do this first and see how it's all going to come out, and we are absolutely happy with it, thrilled with it. How it opened it up, lightened it up, and made it feel more airy. So I'm going to show you what I had going on. I know the place is a wreck, but we're under construction, so hang in there. That wall, that is one reason why we may not have purchased this boat. You'll have to go back and look at the original video of when we were going to look at this boat, back to video number 2, and you can see that this whole thing was rotted out. There's a bulkhead, and there's a chain plate that comes down from up here, and it bolts to the wall here, and that helps hold up the mast. And that was completely rotted out. You could literally poke your finger through the wood. And it was rotted out all the way down and into the floor. So I ended up having to tear out all this SETI stuff going on here, which led to me having to pull out these chain plates and tie rods, and I had to take out the headliner. So yeah, this whole thing had to be torn out, and there it is, back in. So that, again, was one of the reasons why we may not have bought this boat. It was one of the major concerns, and there it is, fixed, solid. It's actually better than it was original. It's twice as thick. It ended up with, I spliced in a piece of 3/4. Previous videos and some photos, you could see where I spliced in a half section of this wall, scarf jointed it in actually, epoxied, fiberglassed, glued, you name it. Then I put an 1/8 inch mahogany. This is Filipino mahogany, marine grade. And so that is gonna, and I found the stain that will match this mahogany to the original teak, and the stain that's going to match it as close as possible is called gun stock. I don't know where it's at. I have it here somewhere. Gun stock, Varthane wood stain, and it's called gun stock. That's my sample can. It matches well. That's what's going to go on any of the new mahogany I'm putting in. So if you remember, I had torn out my water tanks. That one's not back in yet. Oh, disaster over here. I had to do one side first. I had to clear everything out of one side, move it over here, work on that side, And now that this is 90% done, I'm going to start on this come Tuesday. Today is actually Labor Day, 2018. So here is the SETI installed, water tanks back in with hatches, 2 hatches. I actually pushed this. Notice this is at an angle. It's because of the shape of the hole on the outside. The tank was originally pushed up against the wall here, but it was wasted space. I mean, it's not a huge amount of storage down there, but my God, it's something. And when you're living on a tiny boat, inches matter. So I pushed this up against the hull, and then there's spray foam back in there. I used these aluminum ties down to the floor. They tie in. If you go back up in here, the top part, I don't know if you can see it in the dark, there's the strap. It comes through the bottom, ties in there. That ties it into the hull on the top. Then, I think I mentioned this in my previous video, I installed those 2 deck plates in order to have access ports to clean the tank out and stuff. There's really no way to clean it because of the baffling system that's going on, which keeps water from sloshing too much. So now we have storage here, access to all the pipe fittings and connections to the tank here, a through hole that goes to the forward vanity, and this is actually a pump out for the 3-mile rule pipe there for the forward head. If you're offshore, you can pump the sewage out there versus going into a tank. This is not done, obviously. This is going to be replaced with a new piece. So there it is. New mahogany floor piece, mahogany wall. All this is back together. These tie rods, oh my God, getting those in and out. I have no idea how they got them in. What a bitch. So they're just hanging. I gotta put this back up. It's gonna get bolted from the outside. The chain plate is gonna get caulked down with 4200. This side will be done tomorrow, except for cushions and trimmings.
And sanding and varnishing.
And sanding and varnishing, that's trimmings. And then, this over here. And she thinks it's funny. So yeah, there's the galley, painted. Of course, it's going to get trim on the bottom section here. I'm going to build some shelving right here. The microwave goes there. Coming together. We already have the new lights for the galley. I'm testing. This is my bare plywood. I'm testing 3 methods of paint so that when we get to this over here, I already know in advance how it's going to come out based on my 3 ways of painting it. With primer, without primer, with brush, with roller, blah blah blah. So there it is. Video update. Labor Day. September, what is it? 3rd? 4th?
3rd.
September 3rd, 2018. Sailing vessel Shaka signing out.